Hello, taxpayers. You're welcome to GRA Tax Clinic. My name is Claude Kwesibudi from the Ghana Revenue Authority. We're still in the month of tax and good governance, and filing is ongoing. So if you haven't downloaded the Taxpayers portal app, do so, or you can visit the website that is taxpayersportal.com. We're also streaming live on all our social media platforms. So share the link to a friend and let's keep the conversation going. Today I've been joined by Mr. Bismarck Appiah. He's here to talk to us or educate us more on the rights and obligations of a taxpayer. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. So, the rights and obligations of a taxpayer. I know most people always ask this question anytime we go out to educate them, but today we are here on our social media platform. We are educating them. So, take us through the rights and obligations of a taxpayer.
Thank you, Claude.
Yeah.
Now, before I talk about the rights of the taxpayer, we want to look at the obligations of the taxpayer. Okay, so a taxpayer is a person who is earning income either from employment, from business, or from investment. And that person is registered with the Ghana Revenue Authority. Now, a person earning income from employment, business, or investment, whether the person has registered with the Registrar General as a sole proprietor, a partnership, a limited liability company, or a company limited by guarantee, is supposed to register with the Ghana Revenue Authority and pay the relevant taxes. But before the taxpayer pays the relevant taxes, we want to know exactly what the taxpayer must do. First, we've talked about registration, and when the person goes to the Ghana Revenue Authority, the person either registers as a sole proprietor by paying personal income tax, or the person may be an employee of a company, of a partnership, of a company limited by guarantee, or whatever form of business, and also pays tax as Okay, so the person should register and pay the necessary taxes. So we first talk of registration with the Ghana Revenue Authority as a taxpayer. Then after registration with the Ghana Revenue Authority, the person has an obligation to file returns. Now the returns are returns filed for the previous years or for the previous months, depending on what is applicable, based on the tax type registered. If a taxpayer has registered as a limited liability company, the person files annual returns. If the person has registered as a person, either through self-employment or as a partner in a partnership or as an employee, the person files personal income tax, and that is on annual basis. Now, an employer files monthly returns on all the employees of the business, whether the business is a self-employed business, whether it's a limited liability company, whether it is a company limited by guarantee. The employer is supposed to have a monthly returns submitted to the Ghana Revenue Authority declaring the income of the employees and the tax thereon on their incomes and paying same to the Ghana Revenue Authority. There is also withholding tax. When businesses are registered, they do business with other third parties, and those businesses may be subject to withholding tax. When the tax is withheld, they are supposed to be paid to the Ghana Revenue Authority, and payment comes after filing of returns, and that is done on monthly basis. Then we have the value-added tax returns, which is also filed on monthly basis, and the tax thereon paid to the Ghana Revenue Authority. So a taxpayer has an obligation, first, of registering with the Ghana Revenue Authority, second, of filing the appropriate returns, and third, of paying the relevant taxes to the Ghana Revenue Authority. And fourthly, the taxpayer is supposed to maintain and keep accurate records. And these records normally relates to those operating self businesses or one-man businesses, what we call sole proprietorship or partnerships or limited liability companies. And basically, the information we need as Ghana Revenue Authority relates to your financial statement, the invoices and receipts on costs of operation, records on all payments made in line of business operations, records on all incomes or revenues accruing to the business as a result of the business operation. Then records on fixed assets, that is fixed asset acquired in the operation of the business, bank statements, etc., etc. So any relevant information that helps in the operation of the business in the case of the self-employed, in the case of the limited liability company, in the case of the company limited by guarantee, in the case of the partnership, all those records must be kept. In the case of employees, all information relating to incomes earned from the employment must be kept and disclosed to the Ghana Revenue Authority for the appropriate taxes to be assessed, and then the taxpayer paying the appropriate amount of tax, so that the taxpayer will not complain that Ghana Revenue Authority has cheated him or her. So basically, these are the obligations of the taxpayer under the relevant tax laws. And GRA operates with laws. We don't just operate in a vacuum. We have the relevant laws guiding us in our operations. And these laws include the Income Tax Act 2015, Act 896. We have the Value Added Tax Act 2013, which is Act 870. We have the Revenue Administration Act 2016, which is Act 915. We have our Regulation 2016, that is LI 2244, and then LI 2243. So all these regulations and laws and acts guide us in our operation. And therefore, it is based on these laws and regulations that the taxpayer is supposed to undertake certain obligations for his or her tax to be considered a good taxpayer or a compliant taxpayer. Now, after the taxpayer has been able to fulfill his or her tax obligations under these laws, we also say that Ghana Revenue Authority is a liberal institution that encourages taxpayers to also assert their freedoms and rights. And one of the rights of the taxpayer is the right to confidentiality or privacy. So if you are a taxpayer and then you come to the Ghana Revenue Authority office and you disclose your incomes, it is incumbent on us, it is mandatory on the part of Ghana Revenue Authority to protect the taxpayer by not disclosing the information that you have divulged to us or you have given to Ghana Revenue Authority. It is also the right of the taxpayer to claim tax reliefs. And these tax reliefs, my brother will come and then explain them. But basically, we have marriage tax relief, we have responsibility tax relief, we have child education tax relief, we have age-dependent tax relief, we have other forms of tax relief that will be explained to you later. Then a taxpayer who has been able to disclose all incomes and the GRA assessing the person based on the disclosure of all the relevant information may have a tax refund or might have overpaid. The taxpayer is at liberty to claim the refund or request Ghana Revenue Authority to credit him or her with that overpayment. A taxpayer also has the right to claim capital allowances for the employment of assets in the business operations. A taxpayer also has the right to deduct all legitimate expenses that are incurred in running the business. Now, when a taxpayer has been given a debt or a tax to pay based on the information provided to GRA, and a debt has accrued for the taxpayer to pay, and the taxpayer does not have enough funds to be able to pay the debt immediately, the taxpayer has the right to go to the nearest or his or her tax office and call for debt reschedule. Then, after all these things are done, and the taxpayer is not satisfied that the tax that has been assessed to him or her is reasonable, the taxpayer has the right to object to the debt. And GRA will look at it. If it, based on the determination, if the taxpayer is still not happy, the taxpayer has the right to go to the court and fight for what he or she may claim his right, so that no overpaid tax is taken from that particular taxpayer. So, upon fulfilling your tax obligations as a taxpayer, and upon being given the opportunity to assert your rights, if a particular person or a particular entity is not able to do the needful by not complying with the relevant tax laws, what does GRA do? GRA has sanctions to impose on that particular taxpayer. And one of these sanctions is the imposition of penalties for non-filing of returns. For instance, if an employer does not file the returns of his or her employee for the month after the due date, GRA has the right, and based on the law, to impose a penalty. Currently, it is 500 Ghana cedis for non-filing, and then 10 cedis for any additional day that comes to add to the date of non-filing. If a person does not pay the relevant taxes, that person is sanctioned by the imposition of interest on the non-amount that has not been paid. That is for non-payment of taxes. So if a person is supposed to pay 50 cedis by the close of the month, and that 50 cedis has not been fully paid, maybe 10 cedis has been paid, the person has an outstanding amount of 40 cedis. Because the due date has elapsed, that 40 cedis is going to incur an interest on it. We also have sanctions such as confiscation and sale of assets. After GRA exhausting all legal and relevant tools, giving all the necessary opportunity to the taxpayer, if the taxpayer is still not ready to pay and to comply with the tax laws, GRA may confiscate the assets of the taxpayer and sell that particular asset to defray the debt owed by the taxpayer. If there is any excess, that excess amount will be given back to the taxpayer. That GRA also has the right to garnish an account of a taxpayer who is not willing to pay his or her tax liabilities and has any money with any third person. When it comes to the notice of GRA, GRA has the right to write to that third party and ask the third party to withhold the amount of tax outstanding and being held by that third party, so that it is paid to GRA. Failure on the part of the third party to pay that amount to GRA also has its own sanctions. Another sanction, and possibly the last sanction, may be GRA taking the person to court, and then if you are not lucky, you may be imprisoned by the court. So basically, these are some of the sanctions that GRA can mete out to a non-compliant taxpayer or a taxpayer who is not fulfilling his tax obligations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Bismarck Appiah Boateng. So we're joined by Mr. Bismarck Appiah Boateng from the Ghana Revenue Authority, and we hope you watching now understand the rights and obligations of a taxpayer. We're still on filing, and we'll be taking you through the process of filing and also how to get a TCC. So if you haven't shared the link to a friend, do so. And as well, filing is ongoing. So if you haven't downloaded the Taxpayers portal app, do it now, or you can visit our website, taxpayersportal.com. Also, note that we'll be answering your questions. So if you have any question, please ask the question in the comment section, and when the time is due, we'll answer all questions today. So yes, share the link to a friend. Keep sharing it. We're live. Okay, so thank you so much. We've been joined by
Good. Hope you're good too.
Same. Okay, so you are going to take us through the process of filing as well as how to get TCC. So
Yes.
take us through.
Okay. So, firstly, we would have to go through the process of applying for a TCC. Then, would now go through the Taxpayers portal.
Okay.
So, we'll do the tax relief application form first. Then, we'll do the tax relief. We'll do the Taxpayers portal.
All right.
So, you can get the forms from the GRA website, www.gra.gov.gh, or you can go to any of our offices in the country and pick up a form. Once you pick up the form, you complete the form. So the form, you'd see the GRA logo on the form. You'd have the year of assessment, where you'd have the year of assessment, where you'd key in the current year of assessment. Then you share your name, your surname, your other names, your gender, your date of birth, your social security number, your staff number, the name of your employer, the address of your employer, your phone number, and your Ghana card or TIN. Then you give us the particulars of your person. So if you are married, you tell us if you are married or single.
Okay.
You give us the name of your dependent spouse, the date of birth of your dependent spouse, the TIN or Ghana card of your dependent spouse, the social security of your dependent spouse. You'd also tell us the number of children you have. So you tell us the number, then you give us their particulars. So the name of each child, the date of birth of each child, the educational institution of each child. So mind you, the institution should be in the country. And only one parent can claim a relief in respect of each child, subject to a maximum of 3. So you'd also take if you are disabled or physically challenged or not. If you are physically challenged, then it means that you would have to attach the certificate from the Department of Social Welfare. Then you let your employer sign at the bottom. So your employer would sign at the bottom, stamp it, and then date it. Then you would tell us whether you have any other source of income apart from employment. If yes, you tick yes. If no, you tick no. Then you would sign the bottom portion of the form, and then you date it. Once you date it, you attach the relevant documents. So if you are married, your marriage certificate. If your children are schooling, the birth certificate of the children or their school payments, the receipts. If you have aged dependents, you flip the paper, write the name of the aged dependents and then their ages or date of birth behind the form. Then you attach a copy of their Ghana cards to it. Once that is done, you submit it to any of our GRA offices. Once you submit to our GRA office, we would work on it, and then you pick it up. If it's a private institution, then it means you'd have to pick it up from your tax office and then submit it to your employer. If you're a government worker and you're on a controller payroll, then it means that GRA would submit it to the controller and accountant general for you. We would ideally advise that if you do it in bulk, it is easier to manage than to do it in singles. So you come together as staff, let your employer probably put a cover note on it, and then submit to the closest GRA office or your tax office to be worked on for you. That is how you apply for the tax relief application. The other upfront tax relief application you could also apply for is the mortgage interest relief. If you have applied for mortgage, you'd write to the Commissioner General, notifying the Commissioner General that you have applied for it, or you have a mortgage and that you are paying such interest. Then you attach the necessary documents, the mortgage documents, to the application. So the Commissioner General will assess the documents, see whether you qualify within. There are steps that the Commissioner General will look at. If you really qualify, then the Commissioner General will grant that you'd enjoy the mortgage interest relief. So that is how you apply for the tax relief application. Okay, so the second step is also to apply for to sign up on the portal, ideally, because GRA wants to come closer to you. So we want you to see whatever we see at our end. We don't want you coming back to the office to access how do I pay my taxes, what taxes do I have to pay, or what do I have to do. We want you to see whatever we see at our end. So basically we are saying that you should download the Taxpayers portal app via the Play Store, the Google Play Store, or the App Store. That will make it easier for you, make your life easier for you. Once your life is easier, it means that you can log in at any time, access information at any time, talk to GRA at any time on your portal. You can also open a computer and then sign up. If you haven't signed up already, then you'd log into the Taxpayers portal and access the information that GRA has about you anywhere, anytime, and every time. Okay. So by signing up on the Taxpayers portal, if you're an old school, then you can go to the Google, you type Google, and then you look for Taxpayers portal. You select the Taxpayers portal GRA, and then you click on the first link that has the GRA logo. It takes you directly to the Taxpayers portal page. If you are new school, you can just type in taxpayersportal.com. It takes you to the same page. Once that is done, it means that you would have to now sign up for the first time. If you're a first timer, you sign up. If you have already signed up, then it means that you'd have to log in to the portal to be able to access the information or to transact business with the Ghana Revenue Authority. So for a first timer who wants to sign up, you click on sign up, the sign up button just beneath where you'd have your the GRA login page. So you see the GRA logo, the Taxpayers portal. Log into your account. You have the Ghana card, the password. Log in with Ghana.gov, the login button. Forgot your password, and it says that don't have an account. Click here to sign up now. So you click on the sign up now as a first timer. So you click on the sign up now. Then you key in your Ghana card. Remember not to forget the dashes. So you key in the GHA dash, then the full number, and you click on next. So once you click on next, the system will check and then give you the option to send a code to your numbers that are associated with or associated to the Ghana card that is with the Ghana Revenue Authority. Okay. So you sign up, you enter the number, you click on next. Okay. If you are having challenges signing up, you contact the GRA support center on 0800 900 110. But sometimes most of your sign up could also be internet issues, so you should be mindful of where you are when you are trying to log on to the portal. Yes, so you click on the next button. It gives you the option to it gives you the option to send the code to the phone number that is associated with the Ghana card. So the code is sent to the number, the OTP is sent to the number. You take the number and then key in the OTP code. You key in the OTP code, and the system allows you to now log or create a password to enable you to log into the Taxpayers portal. Okay, so once you create a password, it means that you'll be able to log into the Taxpayers portal. If you have forgotten your password too, you can click on forgot your password, enter your Ghana card or TIN, click on next, and then the system would also ask you to select the contact that is associated with the Ghana card. Then you'll be able to send the OTP code to yourself. Then you get the OTP code that would enable you sign up or create a password or reset your password. Okay, so once you have already created an account and you want to log in, you enter your username, which in this case is the TIN, and then you enter your password. And you enter your password. Within some few minutes, the system will log you on, and then you have access to your data. You log on to your data. So once you log in, you see the GRA logo at the top right with your tax status, file your returns, request, pay your taxes, request and cases. You see the information, you see your name, your Ghana card, your tax office, your tax type if you are your individual type if you are an individual or a company. Then beneath that you see your tax type, you see your tax clearance, then you see frequently asked questions, and then contact your tax office. Contact your tax office. Okay. So I'm going to try to log in again. Then the request and cases button at the top right, you use that to make a case to GRA. So assuming today is the 25th, you have some few days to file your annual returns. So if you are not able to file your returns, you can request that for extension on the Taxpayers portal without having to write a letter to the Ghana Revenue Authority. You can also request for refund and request for other things using the request and cases button. You can do payments using the pay your taxes by clicking on the pay your taxes. That would enable you to pay monies to the GRA on account. You can also have access to the receipts. If you have done payments, you can access the receipts on the Taxpayers portal. You don't have to walk into the GRA office to access our receipts. You can also get credits. So if you have transacted business with somebody else and they've withheld from you, you would receive the credits on your portal. That is if the person has filed the returns using your Ghana card or TIN. Then the credits automatically, you are being credited automatically. If your employer has also withheld from you and filed the returns using your Ghana card or TIN, it means that you are also going to receive the credit automatically. It means that you're also going to receive the credits automatically. So to file the returns, you click on the file your return button at the top, and then select the return type to file. So you select the tax type that you want to file. If it's a PAYE, you select the PAYE for sole proprietors. That is to be done monthly. But then our focus now is on the annual one. So either the CIT, company income tax, or the personal income tax for the limited liability companies, the sole proprietors, the employees. We encourage all of us to file the taxes on or before the 30th of April. So you select the tax type that you are filing for. In this instance, we are filing personal income tax return. So you select the personal income tax return. Once you select the personal income tax return, the form pops up and is populated with your name and Ghana card. Then your resident status says that based on your Ghana card tells you whether you are resident or non-resident. But then for tax purposes, a resident person is one that has been in the country for 183 days or more. So it means that you select the appropriate one that matters. If you are a resident person, you can change to resident. If you are non-resident, you change to non-resident person. Then you select the year of assessment. If it is 2024, you key in the 2024. If it is 23, you key in the 23. Ideally, returns means that you are going back a step. So since we are in 2024, it means that since we are in 2025, it means that you are filing for 2024 return. So you enter 2024 and then you enter the period. So the period will be 01/01, that is 1st January 2024 to 31st December 2024, because for individuals, the accounting period is your period. So it means that you'd have to enter your 01/01, that's 1st January 2024 to 31st December 2024. Okay, so now you tell us your sources of income. Whether your source of income is from business, employment, or investment. The source of income, whether it's from business, employment, and investment. You tick the appropriate one. If you are just an employee, then tick employment. If you are an employee and a sole proprietor, or you have a small business on the side, then it means that you'd have to tick the business and then the employment. If you have investments too, you tick the business, employment, and then investment. Okay, so for employees, you tick employee if your income is just from employment. Once you tick employment, it will give you a drop down. You key in the tin of your employee, of your employer. Once you key in the tin of your employer, then you also enter the name of your employer, the address of your employer, and give us the basic salary. You give us the basic salary of your that you earn every month. You give us the basic salary you earn every month. You give us the cash allowance that you earn every month. And then any other benefits in cash that you have received from your employer, you tell us the benefits in cash that you have received from your employer. If you have enjoyed any excess bonus, you tell us the excess bonus figure that you have enjoyed. If your bonus is more than 15% of your basic, then it means that the 15% is taxed at 5% final tax, and then the exceeding one, or the one that exceeds the 15%, you key in the amount in the excess bonus column. Once that is done, you move to your benefits in kind. If you have any benefits in kind, if your employer has given you any benefits in kind, benefits like accommodation, like vehicle benefits. If your employer gives you vehicle or a driver or fuel or a combination of any, it is taxable in your hands. If your employer gives you accommodation, whether shared, furnished, fully furnished or shared, it means or accommodation only, it is also taxable in your hands. So you quantify them and then put the various figures in the appropriate cells. Once that is done, the total benefit in kind will be calculated for you. Then you also come and tell us if you have any director's fee. If you are on a board, if you have had any sitting within the year of assessment, within the 2024 year of assessment, then it means that you give us the gross amount of the income that you have gotten from the sitting allowance or the board. Give us the gross allowance. The system automatically adds up or sums it up for you to get your total income. So once you get your income, then we come to the reliefs, the deductions. So you input in your SSF or the SNIT if you are, that is if you are on SNIT. You input in the figures for the marriage and responsibility, like on the form we discussed earlier, the tax relief application form. If you have applied and you've been granted, then you key in the appropriate figures. So if you are married and you are responsible, then it means that you are entitled to a relief of 1,002 per year. So either you are married or you are single with 2 or more kids, then it means that you are responsible. So you are entitled to a relief of 1,002 per year. If you have children schooling in the country, then it means you are entitled to a relief of 600 per child. So you key them in as per appropriate. If you have aged dependents who are above 60 years old, it means that you are entitled to a relief of 1,000 per aged dependent. So you key them in the appropriate cells. The system will automatically do the summation for you. If you have mortgage, if you have applied for mortgage and you've been mortgage interest relief and you've been granted, you key all of them in. If you have provident fund, you key them into the system where appropriate. Once that is done, the system calculates your total reliefs and subtracts it from the total income, thereby giving you the chargeable income. Once you arrive at your chargeable income, what the system will do next is that it will calculate the tax thereof for you. Then it will now compare with the taxes that you have already paid. So beneath there, you would see tax credits. So if you are on a board or you have enjoyed any sitting allowance, then it means that the tax that will have been paid on your behalf, that has been withheld on your behalf and credited to your Ghana card, would pop up there. If your employer has also paid the PAYs and filed the returns appropriately using your Ghana card or TIN, then it means that the credits will also pop up there. Then it will knock off with the filing that you have already, or the tax charge that the system calculated for you. So it compares with the taxes that you are supposed to pay with the taxes that you have already paid. If there is an excess, or if you have overpaid your taxes, then you write to the Commissioner General telling the Commissioner General what to do, whether to set off with your future liabilities or you want a refund. So once you do that, then the Commissioner General will then decide on what to do with the amount, with the overpayment. If you owe the Ghana Revenue Authority, then it means that you'd have to do the payment, you have to do the needful by doing payments using the Ghana.gov platform. Okay, so once you arrive at the tax payable or the tax overpaid, you click on the complete at the bottom part of the form, and then click on the confirm save at the top right of the form. Then the system will tell you that you are almost done. So you should click on either review later to review the form later, or click on complete and submit now to formally submit your form to the Ghana Revenue Authority. If you are unsure and you need assistance, you can click on the review later for somebody else to look through your filed returns before you finally submit it to the Ghana Revenue Authority. If you are sure of what you have done, then it means you can confidently click on the complete and submit button now. Then and only then would your form be submitted to the Ghana Revenue Authority. This will show as pending payments on your ledger or your status if payments haven't been done by your employer. So if by payments haven't been done by your employer, you can complete, if you are an employee, you can complete the employee tax deduction form, or let your employer complete the employee tax deduction form annual for you. You submit to the closest GRA office, and then you will be credited. But we are by this way encouraging all employers to file their monthly PAYE returns with the Ghana card or tin of their employees, so as to enable their employees, one, verify that they are actually doing the payments on their behalf, two, be able to file their returns, three, be able to access information from GRA, because if they don't file the returns and there are no credits there, it means that they are still owing. If they are filed and are credits there, then it means that they can obtain clearance or they can obtain any other documents that they want from the Ghana Revenue Authority. So that is how you successfully file your tax return on the Taxpayers portal, either on the app or in the browser. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Safas. I think you've taken us through the process. Can you also talk about the TCC as well?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So with the TCC process, it means that you would have filed your returns and you would have been in good standing with the Ghana Revenue Authority. Once you are in good standing with the Ghana Revenue Authority by filing your returns and by also making payments to the Ghana Revenue Authority, what it means is that anytime, anywhere, anyhow, anywhere you need TCC, by clicking a button, within 2 minutes, you should be able to obtain a tax clearance certificate. So same process, you go to the Taxpayers portal, you click, you sign up, or you log into the Taxpayers portal, you go to your tax clearance certificate, which is just beneath your tax types, which is beneath the name. You click on it, then you click on process your tax clearance certificate. Once you click on process your tax clearance certificate, the system asks for the purpose of your tax clearance certificate, because each tax clearance certificate requires a purpose. There should be a purpose for the tax clearance certificate. You select, there are sample tax clearance certificates there. You select one that suits your purpose. If you don't find any that suits your purpose, you go to the last one and select specify. Then you can freely type in your purpose or the purpose for which you are requesting for the tax clearance certificate. Then you move to the next row and enter the TIN of the requesting institution or organization. So you can enter the TIN of the organization requesting for the tax clearance, or you can also move and then enter the email address of the institution that is requesting for the tax clearance. So once that is done, if you know the TIN and you enter the TIN, the name will pop up for verification to be sure that you know who you are actually sending the TCCs or you are requesting the TCC from, because a copy will be sent automatically to that person. Then you click on submit or process at the bottom, and within 2 minutes the tax clearance certificate is generated for you.
All right. So on Facebook and TikTok, I think a lot of people are having issues with what we are doing. Please, you can load your page, or because of the network, or you can also go to our YouTube channel as well, and you get the full video available for you to watch on how the process is done. So on that note, we'll be answering most of your questions, all your questions. But today, I think I'll have to start with those on X first. We'll start with them. We'll answer most of their questions. And on TikTok, Facebook, the questions are already coming through. But let me ask Mr. Sifas this question. He says this question is from Don Pages on TikTok. He says that, please, why should we file tax returns though it has already been paid to GRA? Is there a need again?
Okay. Thank you, Don Pages, for your question. So one, there's a difference between the filing and then the payment.
Okay.
So your employer has paid on your behalf, like he said. Once the employer has paid on his behalf, it means that he's being credited with the payment. But he would also have to declare his income from all sources. His employer would only know the income from employment. What if he's registered a business? The employer wouldn't know that he has a sole proprietorship. So he would have to file the return saying that my income is from only one source, or my income is from a combination of one or more of the either from business, employment, or investment. And it's a civic responsibility
Duty.
or duty to file the return every year for the previous year.
Okay.
So we are all expected to file our returns for the previous year, each on or before the 30th of April each year for the previous year.
All right. So that's it for Don Pages on TikTok. And still on TikTok, 77 is also pleading that please cancel all penalties and let's start afresh. Yes. We'll try and see how best we can do that.
I think that one lies in the bosom of Parliament. So if you can appeal to your MPs,
Yes.
and then they would do the needful, then GRA, we are only implementers of the law.
Yes. Farron on TikTok is also saying, when will you bring the new PAYE schedule?
Once it's been assented to and our bosses agree on it, then it means that we can upload it on the website for you to have access to.
Okay. I think there's a very interesting question here from Nana. Nana on TikTok. He says that if someone doesn't get the OTP, what does he do next? If you don't get the OTP after you log in with
Yes.
your
So
Ghana
if you
card.
don't get the OTP, ideally we would have said you should call the hotline, but then we can't verify or authenticate that you are who you say you are. So we would love that you visit our office for the first time. Go with your Ghana card. Let us see that you are who you say you are. Then we can change your number for you. So we can change the number. Probably when NIA was doing it, there's a typo in the keying in your numbers. So we
Okay.
can look at it and then change to the number that you are currently using, or change to the correct number, so that it will enable you to sign up on the portal and file your returns.
Okay. So if you have any question, as we said, if you have any question, you can just key them in the comment section. We are going to pick it up and answer all questions here from Facebook, X, TikTok, wherever you're watching us, Facebook, YouTube. Just send a question and we are going to answer quickly. So let's move to Facebook. Isaac Forsen says that my problem is I filed now on the accounting year or business year 2024 and I'm billed to pay 4K, that's 4,000 plus. If I'm right, how is it possible to pay if I didn't work? He didn't work, he filed now, and now he's asked to pay 4,000 plus.
Wow. So he filed nil.
Nil.
Yes. So he filed a nil return.
Nil return.
Yes. But then, because he filed after the period he was supposed to file, the previous speaker or presenter spoke about sanctions. Failure to file the returns before due date, it means that you are supposed to pay a penalty of 500 cedis plus 10 cedi a day from which you should have filed that return, which is system generated. So once you file the return after the due date, the system will calculate 500 cedis plus 10 cedi times the number of days you should have filed the return. So if you should have filed the return 365 days ago, then it means that it will be 365 times 10 plus 500 cedis. That is how come he has that on his portal.
Okay, so that's it for Isaac Forsen on Facebook. On TikTok, let's go back to TikTok. So Nicholas Darko is asking a question, but the PIT forms does not allow you to put on the payment on the account in the form, but the PIT forms does not allow you to put on the payment on the account in the forms. He's asking a question.
Yes, so the payment on account is supposed to be automatic. We don't want anybody else keying in a figure to reflect on the ledger. So once your employer or once you are being credited, it is automatic. if your employer does the payment today and files today, it is crediting you automatically. So if you are filing the return, you would find the payment on account showing on the return. So if your employer has paid so much for you, once you are filing the return, it will automatically show under the payment on account for you.
Okay.
You don't have to key in any figure at all.
Yeah, you don't have to key any figure at all. So still on TikTok, Nana Eja is asking, can one amend tax relief form? What is the amount for dependents and children? I think tax relief has become a very huge topic now.
Yes. So if your information has changed, there's a portion where you click if your information has changed. You can always amend the tax relief form.
Okay.
You could be married today, you could be single tomorrow. You could have children today who are schooling in the country. You could have the same children schooling out of the country. So it means your circumstance can change at any point. You could have dependents who are above 60 now and they could pass away. So you could have dependents and not have dependents. Then it means that you can't apply for the aged dependents again. And for the aged dependents, it's 1,000 per aged dependent.
For the agent dependent?
Yes, 1,000 per aged dependent.
Okay.
Mind you, all the amounts we are saying, the taxes on those amounts, don't pay the taxes at all. They are tax free. So your income minus those reliefs, the tax reliefs, before tax.
So the dependent has the children and that is right? Or
yes, no, it's separate.
It's separate.
The children
Okay.
is also separate.
So what's the amount on the children?
Okay, children is 600 per child.
All right.
Up to a maximum of 3. So
that's some cool cash.
1,000 cool cash.
Cool
So it
cash.
means your income minus that before they tax you,
Yes.
obviously.
Still on Anaija, he wants a lot, so he still asks the questions. He says, "Can I enjoy any exemptions for last year? If I'm yet to fill the exemptions form,
Which is
can I think he's talking about he means the relief form. I
yes,
think that's what he's
the relief forms are upfront reliefs. The non-upfront ones, you can also apply them when you are filing your returns, like the cost of training, which is 2,000. You can apply for it when you are filing your returns, or mortgage interest. You can also apply for it when you are filing your return for the previous year.
Okay. I hope Nana Eja, you've been able to, you are understanding what we are saying concerning about your question you just asked. So, my friends on X, if you want to call or you want us to call you, you can just request and we'll just put you on as soon as possible. But if you also have a question and you think you want to, just put it in the comment section. We'll reply quickly on the live. So let's go back to Facebook. Darlington Lemon is asking a question. He says that what is the benefit of that payment to the employee? That's the pay as you earn.
Okay.
Yeah, what's the benefits?
Okay, so the pay as you earn, when the employer pays the taxes, the employer pays the amount in bulk, but the employer needs to tell the revenue authority, or in this case, the Ghana Revenue Authority, that out of the amount I am paying, this is how much I have paid on behalf of Mr. A. This is how much I have paid on behalf of Mr. B. This is how much I've paid on behalf of Mrs. C. So once the employer files the return, then the employee is credited automatically. So the employee can be able to track whether or not the employer is paying the taxes that is showing on his pay slip or not. So it's easy for the employee to know whether the employer has made payments for his taxes without having to come to the Revenue Authority office to find out, oh, is my employer paying or my employer is not paying. You can just log on to the portal and find out if your employer is doing the right thing.
Okay, so on X from Kojo Abalo, if I got your name right, he's asking what is GRA, when is GRA rolling out the personal relief application form on the website?
All I can say is very soon GRA will roll out the online platform for application of the tax relief forms.
Okay.
So you should expect it soon.
Okay. So still on X from Charles, he's asking a question. He said, my question is, why can't we put in all payments on account in the form? Why can't we put in all payments in accounts on the form?
Okay, so all payments are supposed to have been credited automatically.
Okay.
So whatever payments have been done, be it the withholder, in this case, with PAY is also a form of withholding. So the agent withholding and filing, we encourage the agents to input in the TIN or Ghana card of those they are withholding from, the withholdees. So whether you're a contractor or you're an employee, we are saying that whoever is withholding from you, give the person your TIN or Ghana card, so that once they withhold from you and they file the return, you'll be credited automatically. You don't have to worry about keying in any figure at the payment on account, because those ones will be credited automatically to your account for you.
Okay, so on X, we'll take the questions again. I think we had a little issue with that. So let's start with the first question as well. Kojo says, when is the GRA rolling out the personal release application form on the website? Let's just take that question, those
Okay,
questions.
so very soon, GRA will roll out the personal tax relief forms on the website.
On the
It will
website.
be available on the website and then the Taxpayers portal.
Okay,
So very
so
soon.
let's answer Charles's question again. He says that why can't we put in all payments on account in the form?
Okay, so all payments are supposed to have been credited from all sources. So the payments on accounts are supposed to be credited from all sources, be it from all the agents to the withholding. So a contractor or an employee is supposed to ensure that whoever is withholding from him or her has his TIN or the Ghana card. Once the withholding agent has your TIN and Ghana card and makes payments and files the return, you are credited automatically. If you are filing your return, it will pop up automatically. All payments that have been withheld from you will pop up automatically in the system for you.
Okay, so I think the other time we spoke about the 3 R's, the relief, the refund, and so I think there's a question here on refund. So it says that, please, if I request for a tax refund, will I get in cash or will I be credited to my account? This is from Martin Kumsen on Facebook.
If you request for a tax refund, okay, so if you've noticed that you have overpaid taxes to GRA, GRA has done its checks and they've seen that you have actually overpaid to the authority and you want a refund. Before the refund is done, you'll be contacted. So you would determine how the method of payment, whether it will be in cash or be credited to your account. But ideally, it will be credited to an account.
Okay, so the relief form which we spoke about is already on the website.
Yes.
So the best thing they need to do is you can download it. So you can just visit our website and just go to the direct tax section and you're going to scroll down till you see it. It's actually there. So if the person who asked of that question should quickly do that, and he's going to get the relief form. So let's go on, still on our social media, on X. From an observation, the payment on account is always not reflecting the current amount, knowing that the complete filings and payments have been done for a full calendar year. What can be done in such instance? This is still from Kojo. So he's saying that from observation, the payment on account is always not reflecting the correct amount, knowing that the complete filings and the payments have been done already for a full calendar year. What can be done if you have this situation?
Well, then you should contact their tax office. Probably the employer has filed one with a wrong thing, or even a mistake. Probably it could be a dash missing or something that could cause that. So you should just contact his tax office and that will be rectified for him.
Okay, so speaking about tax office, I think on X, Charles is asking a question. He says that, please, why is it that various tax TSCs does not credit us with our PAYE paid by our employers? And also, why is it that the TSCs does not want to do the transfer of our portal form portal from the personnel that we have left. Example, formerly he was at Odan, but now in Accra. But the Odan TSC they don't want to transfer the information. So he's asking a question. Why is that they don't credit them when the employer pays the PAYE?
Okay, so for the credit, if the employer pays the PAYE, we should ensure that the employer files the return with the Ghana card. If the employer doesn't file the return with your TIN or Ghana card, it won't credit you automatically. So the employer would also have to do his part by filing the return with your TIN or Ghana card for it to reflect on your portal. And for the transfer, we are saying digitization. Once you are able to access the portal, you shouldn't even worry about transferring your file, because you should be able to access the file anywhere you are. If you travel abroad, you should still be able to access the Taxpayers portal on your phone, your tablet, or a computer.
Okay, so you can access it everywhere.
Everywhere.
So, I think Son of the Moon is asking a question. He says, so I think we spoke about benefits.
Okay.
So he's asking, so aside the benefits for individuals, what do the communities who pay more taxes benefit? To those with most companies like Spinters and the rest. Please, are you around that area? We want to visit you. So yeah.
Okay. So thanks for your question. So basically, it's a collective issue. Once you pay your taxes, they put your tax together, they put another community's tax together to build our roads, to build the hospitals, to pay our nurses, to pay the police, to pay the military, to pay government officials, to take care of us. So the same things are still used for the free SHS, the free pads, the hospitals, the clinics, the roads that we are using, the social amenities that we all get. We put all the taxes that we have paid together, and they use those taxes for those things.
Okay.
Nothing is actually free. It is the taxes that we pay that is used to build or take care of those things for us.
Yeah.
Just like in other countries, you go to America and you say, oh, America is nice. It is their taxes. You go to Britain and you say it's nice. It is their taxes. So the taxes, if you want to build a better Ghana and want Ghana to look like the US and the Americans, we would have to pay taxes. We would have to ensure that everyone is paying the tax. Once you pay your tax, you do your part, I do my part. Government puts them together to fund the roads, to fund the hospitals, to fund the free SHS, to pay the military and the police to take care of us.
Okay. So, Sun on the Moon, I think your question has been answered. And yes, so open more businesses for around those areas so that that community will be well established, as you are saying. So yeah, on TikTok, and Nana Eja is asking, how will you know if you're doing the right filing for PIT? How will you know? He's asking. How will he know if he's doing the right thing? I think since we've taken you through the process, and I've already said that we have a full version of what we're talking about today on our YouTube channel, you can just scroll or just type filing GRA, you get that video, and I think you'll be sorted out. But Mr. Safas, do you have anything to say concerning it?
No, so you can get the videos on our YouTube page. You can also seek assistance if you have an accountant's friend. You can also walk to the GRA office if you're having any challenge. The goal is to make you feel at home to file your returns, and your right is to come to GRA, and then we treat you with courteousness and give you the information you need. So if you are having challenges filing your return, you can walk to the closest GRA office. You'll be assisted.
Yeah.
Free of charge.
Or you can do well and go to our YouTube channel
or social network platforms.
Yeah, you will get that. Yeah. So Charles is still asking the question. I think the Charles who asked on the various CCC question. So he's still asking the question. He says again, in case I am employed and I have my own side hustle that generates income, should every expenditure that comes with the business income be deducted from the income? Let me read the question again. So in case I am employed and I have my side hustle that generates income, should every expenditure that comes with the business income be deducted from the income?
Is the expenditure solely from business?
So yes, I think it's
If
solely
it's solely
from
from business,
his side hustle.
if it's solely from business, then it's allowable,
yeah.
fine. If it's not solely from business, then it means that you have to do an apportionment, what we call the apportionment. You would have to apportion which side is for the business and which side is for yourself as an individual.
All right. So let's answer this question from Facebook. On Facebook, how much would one pay before processing a relief? This is from Tuna Samuel.
Relief applications are free.
Totally
Totally free.
free. There's no payment. So I think your question is straightforward. The answer is straightforward. It's free.
Free.
Yes.
Free of charge.
So I have friends on Instagram. Kingsley is asking, "Hello seniors, please can a sole proprietor apply for tax clearance even though the person hasn't registered with the GRA, and how does the person go about it?" I think your first question, if you haven't registered with GRA, you can't apply for that. And how to go about it is to now restart and register
with the authority.
Yes, and then you can get the TCC. So I've answered your question for you. So you cannot apply if you are not registered with the Ghana Revenue Authority. And if you want to do so, apply or register so that you apply and get a TCC. So let's move on. On Facebook, this is from Mohammed Ken Faisal. He says that, please, if one has filed for the month and has not paid yet, will TCC be issued to if registered? Let's answer the first session.
Okay.
So, please, if one has filed for the month and has not paid yet, will TCC be issued to if requested?
If one has filed for the month.
Yeah, you filed for the month and you've not yet paid.
Not yet paid. For the TCC to be issued, it means that you have to settle your outstanding debt before TCC is issued for you.
Okay. So the follow-up question is, and I would like to know other factors that disqualify one from getting TCC other than the periodic filing.
No, so it means that you should have been compliant with GRA. So once you request for the TCC, the system will do an auto compliance check. Check if all returns have been filed up to the last quarter or last period that you are supposed to file the returns. If payments have also been done. If you are owing GRA, you can go to your tax office and then have a reschedulement, a tax payment reschedule. So you could also reschedule your payments and still obtain a TCC.
Okay.
You can do so by going to your tax office. Then there will be a payment plan for you to enable you to obtain the TCC, go and get the money and come and pay your tax liability to the country or government.
Okay. So follow-up channel is saying that the GRA system doesn't allow one to pay PIT for more than 1 month. And I think, I don't know, he says that the GRA doesn't allow one to pay PIT for more than 1 month. And I think someone is also asking a question saying that he's a first-time employee. How should I file my PIT? Congratulations for being a first-time employee. How to file, I think, is on the YouTube. As we said, on our YouTube channel, you get the full version as we're doing here, but you get a full episode of that on our YouTube channel. That's at Ghana Revenue Authority. So official, Ghana Revenue Authority official, or Ghana Revenue Authority. So you can check that and you'll be sorted out. So follow-up channel on TikTok is asking the question. It says that the GRA system does not allow one to pay PIT for more than 1 month. I think we'll have to get a follow-up question to what you are trying to tell us. So on Facebook, so Martin Kumsin is the one asking the question on how he should file his PIT, and I think he says he's a first-time employee. Congratulations on that. So I want to ask: is there any payment on the account? Is there any payment on the account? The question the person was asking.
Yes, you can pay on account. You can pay on account by going to pay your taxes. Select pay on account and then tell us the tax type you are paying for, the period you want to pay for, and the amount you want to pay. Then a tax bill will be generated for you. It directs you to use the Ghana.gov Or so once the tax bill is generated, you can opt to use the *222# to do the payment by following the prompt, or you are redirected to the Ghana.gov to make payments via the bank or any of the methods that you want to do payments with.
Okay, so we are still answering questions here. It's a Q&A session. So if you have any question, you can just type that in the comment section. We're going to answer as soon as possible, and we're going to give you an answer. And if you haven't shared the link to a friend, do so. Share the link to your friends. And also, the Taxpayers portal app is available for you to download and file your returns. You can also visit the taxpayersportal.com and you can start filing, as we're still in the month of tax and good governance. So if you can always DM us on our social media platform. You can send us a message. So on Facebook is Ghana Revenue Authority Official. On Instagram is Ghana Revenue. And on TikTok is Ghana Revenue. On X, Ghana Revenue. And LinkedIn is Ghana Revenue Authority. YouTube, Ghana Revenue Authority. And we've added one, which is the Snapchat. You can also send us a message on Snapchat. Very active on Snapchat, as well as all the social media platforms. So let's go back to the question. Nana Eja is still asking the question on TikTok. He says, I think this education should be done frequently for us, and thank you. Oh, you're most welcome. We'll be doing this more often. So we are not going to stop here just because the Tax and Good Governance Month is ending. No, it's going to be a regular thing we'll be doing all the time, every month. So just cross your fingers and know that we'll be coming your way all the time, every month. All right. So you can also call the toll-free number +08009001002. I'm taking it again. You can call the toll-free number +08009001002, or you can send us an email to this email. That's the info@gra.gov.gh. The info@gra.gov.gh. So you can follow us on all our social media platforms. As I'm saying, do it now. You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, for more tax education or more updates on tax related questions. So, and also if you need more information or updates on the online filing, you can just visit our social media platforms are always active, 24/7 system. We are always running through. We'll answer all your questions and serve you as soon as possible. So my name is Claude Kwesibwedi, and it was wonderful sitting here from the 1st April to now during this tax and good governance, bringing you this amazing session. And thank you so much to Mr. Cephas Makafui Zuka, and also to Mr. Bismarck Apia Boatin, who earlier went through with us on the rights and obligations of a taxpayer. So that'll be all for this session. I'll see you in our next session. Have a wonderful day.